Okay, hi, my name is Shantae Larry. Um, this is case study number 2, client profile. So the client I will be talking about today will be referred to as kiddo number 2. Age, 5 years old. Their diagnosis is autism spectrum disorder. This client currently has one, two, three, four. This client actually has 4 behaviors, but I chose to discuss throwing objects. The target behavior is throwing objects. It's defined as any attempt or occurrence in which the client propels objects from their hand in an inappropriate manner or not in accordance with the function of the item. An example of this would be the client is presented with a work task, picks up material, and propels the item out of their hand. A non-example would be the client is in the gym and throws the ball to another client or therapist to catch it. All right. First, the assessments used to determine the function of this behavior was ABC data and direct observation. Now let's get into operant extinction. So, operant extinction, if I'm understanding it correctly, is when you are no longer providing reinforcement to to a behavior that was previously reinforced. So for this client, the intervention was RBTs used response blocking to remove all items from the area and did not provide any additional attention to the behavior. Functional communication training using one word commands such as want was taught. Once the client was calm, the RBT would verbally prompt want and provide reinforcement. So in the past with this client, when they engaged in throwing objects, when another item that they wanted was restricted, the client would immediately be given access to just kind of like calm down the scene of everything. So this client has limited verbal skills, but can say one word man's. So teaching FCT to this client is an appropriate replacement behavior. And teaching them FCT, they will learn to functionally communicate their wants to gain access to preferred items. Blocking, removing all items, and not giving any additional attention to the behavior stops the reinforcement of the previously reinforced behavior. Is it socially mediated or direct access to tangibles? So, based on the behavior data, the client engaged in throwing object when there was delayed or denied access to preferred items. So, in this case, this behavior would be considered socially mediated because the client needs another individual to be able to give them access to the item. Reinforcement. This client wasn't reinforced by a lot, so we did have to kind of like provide them with a bunch of different things that maybe that they would like to engage with. So those would be our condition reinforcers, such as the iPad, which is the highly reinforced item, well, highly preferred item for this client. And then it's kinetic sand, Play-Doh, and a bunch of little sensory items. I'm sorry, I'm sick, but I keep clearing my throat. So DRA, differential reinforcement of alternative behaviors was implemented. When the client used functional communication instead of throwing objects, they would receive reinforcement for 3 minutes. Stimulus control. Now, I have struggled with this for so long and understanding it, but I think I finally got it. So, when implementing FCT, the verbal prompt will be in control of the response. And in order to generalize the response to him just asking because he wants something, and the verbal prompts will and were eventually faded. So that is how stimulus control was considered throughout intervention. That is all. Thank you. How do I